I'm Easton Day. I'm 17 and I'm a junior at North Paulding. I've grown up in a very sports-oriented family. I would say I started playing t-ball around 6. Kind of just played to have fun at first, but it wasn't until I would say 7th, 8th grade that my dad just sat me down and was like, look, if you want to truly get far in this and make it in high school, you got to strengthen up. And so I had about a 2-year journey where I just put everything I had into baseball. It was something that I really took pride in, and that's why it just kind of took over my life. I was able to make the high school team, but summer leading to my sophomore year, I just remember throwing a ball from the wall and feeling a pop. It hurt like something I had never felt before, and I didn't think much of it, and I kept playing. And so as the summer went on, I started to see my velocity go down, my strength go down. I got scared. At that point, it was at its worst that I'd ever been. And so we went to multiple doctors. I had multiple MRIs done on it. And I remember getting the phone call. My full shoulder was torn, and that I would need surgery as soon as possible. It kind of just felt like the world around me did freeze. At that point, baseball was the #1 thing I thought is what my future was going to depend on. And so thoughts racing my head like all this work I did is for nothing. Having to watch my friends and teammates do the thing that I love to do most. It created a mindset of self-pity, but that kind of snowballed into a new mindset of feeling undeserving. And so I would distance myself from my friends and my family. I stopped going to see my small group and thought that, honestly, if I distracted myself enough, that I could do it on my own strength. It was when I started to do that the mindset just kept getting worse. And the only time I would talk to God was just to ask him why this is my life. It got to the point where I thought, okay, maybe I can just try church one more time. The first Reckless I went back to, it was rush signups. And one of my buddies was like, hey, are you going? And I didn't think we were in the financial state to do so, but I also just really didn't want to go. And so I was like, no, it's not for me this year, maybe next year, but I still plan on not going the year after that. He was like, I want you to be there. I want you to experience what you need to, because I had to open up to them on how I was feeling. Ultimately, his family does pay for me to be able to go to Rush that year. It was just a shock because I had distanced myself from them, and to go back and have somebody say, I need you to be there, it truly made me feel loved. I remember getting there and just feeling the warmth of that Florida sun and feeling like, okay, there's something here. I remember taking down those notes, and it was like as I was writing them on the page, it was being written on my heart. And I was like, okay, God, I'm starting to see what you're doing. You know, I'd always had written out my own will for my life, but God was starting to reveal his will for me. I was sitting down with my leader, and I just poured out to him things that I'd never told people, the things that were truly holding me back, that I felt so much shame and guilt over, and figured out that there were some things in my life holding me back, and whatever wasn't giving him the glory, I was going to ultimately give up for him, and that's what I did. When I got back home, I knew that this time it was different. I got in the Word every day, and then I was intentionally praying as well. I experienced a true intimacy with him. And on top of all of this, I got baseball back. And so it kind of just felt like everything was going good. Leading up to July, I threw a pitch and it went completely over the batter's head. And that usually means something's wrong with your elbow. But I remember pulling myself off that field, sobbing, pointing to my stomach. It felt like the world was spinning. I felt like that things were just gonna go downhill again. I was rushed to the hospital, and there I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. It was really hard to keep the faith in that moment and to just find the joy where I was at. But I had a community around me. I had my boys from my small group saying, hey, we're praying about you. Come and visiting me when I truly needed them. And I think it was them reaching out and uplifting me made me realize he will walk me through this. I just have to open my heart and let him. Staying plugged into Reckless has just continued to project my faith. I just saw a transformation of my heart, and it's continued to just let me be eager to learn more about him. I mean, he picked me up right where I was, and he continues to do that every day. He saved a wretched man, but he is still saving the wretched man that I am.